Flying D Ranch is a 120,000 acre private ranch at the very northern tip of the greater GYE. The GYE is the greater Yellowstone ecosystem, which is approximately 22 million acres in Montana, Wyoming, Idaho, which is the largest intact intermountain ecosystem in the United States, one of the largest intact ecosystems in the world. The role that the Flying D plays within the GYE is that we're a segue between winter and summer ranges for migratory big game species. Elk in particular are heavily reliant on the Flying D and its existence. They need this ranch to survive in the brutal Montana winters. And due to the urban sprawl that exists around us, much of that habitat has been developed and very little of it remains, and much of it is on the Flying D Ranch. So when Ted bought the ranch, this was a very conventional cattle and haying operation with some small grain production. Thousands and thousands of acres of hay and crop ground, intensive cattle raising, and Ted made the decision to eliminate a lot of those operations and to rewild the ranch. Part of that decision making was eliminating much of the farming enterprises, removing cattle from the landscape, and reintroducing the native species of bison. Rewilding to me essentially is allowing natural ecosystem processes to take place without human interference. And that's exactly what we're doing. We're trying to ranch and be productive and profitable in concert with nature. The first objective would be to enhance soil health. That's the base of the pyramid. That's the foundation in which all other life exists. There's evolving and emerging technologies that bison meat from animals that have had diverse diets, particularly on native range, has a lot more nutritional density than meats that are from animals that have had limited diet diversity. If the principle is you are what you eat, I know what I want to have. The Flying D Ranch has a herd of approximately 6,000 bison. All of the species here evolved in the presence of bison. The plant species evolved with their presence and grazing, and they need that grazing to stimulate them in order to flourish. Small mammals, birds, they evolved in the presence of bison. They're reliant on the bison for different properties. They are the native grazer here. And by bringing them back onto the landscape, they're filling a void that has existed for over 100 years. The Flying D Ranch is incredibly diverse. We're home to all of the large fauna that exist in the northern Rockies, everything from grizzly bears down to deer mice. We allow wildlife to flourish freely as they would. We do our best to remove impediments to their movement across the landscape through wildlife-friendly fencing. We have apex predators on the landscape that we don't manage. Predators were to predate on bison, we allow that. If prey animals want to come down and feed on our crop fields, we allow that. So minimal human intervention in allowing these ecosystem processes to take place across the board. Conservation comes at steep financial costs. In order for us to continue to enhance the landscape like we've been doing for the last 35 years, there has to be financial incentive for us to do that. By partnering with Force of Nature, we have a reliable avenue to be able to market our bison. And everybody that purchases Force of Nature bison is allowing us to enhance the landscape that we're managing for those bison and all the other species that exist. Without that marketing avenue, we wouldn't be able to accomplish at scale what we have been today as far as eliminating our farming, haying enterprises and converting them to grazing enterprises. Force of Nature believes in our mission and how we're executing on that mission, and they allow us to manage the landscape how we see best fit. By purchasing Force of Nature meats, that benefits us financially as ranchers so that we can continue to further our mission of good environmental stewardship. Now that I'm a father, that certainly changes your outlook on life. Now I not only do what I do for myself and for others, but selfishly I do them for my children and my children's children. I want them to be able to see the beauty of the landscape that exists here that's been untouched and left to be wild.